guys, welcome back to Let's Play Shadow Hearts. Last time I lied about doing a bunch of stuff this time, which we're not going to do. Instead, we're going to move on with the plot. Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I don't really want to go over all the more fusions we can do in the graveyard because, well, we're going to do something that's going to unlock even more of them very shortly. So I'm just going to cram all of it into one episode later on instead of splitting it up. So there'll be one episode at some point that's basically just full of that kind of stuff. To start this episode off, I believe this is a treasure chest. The Mant of Nobility. We have a couple of things for Keith now. I will equip those on him later. If you don't want spoilers from Koudelka, turn away now. I'll put on screen when to skip to because I'm going to actually talk about the ending this time. Here, it actually does affect things. Okay. Person's name is crudely carved into the tombstone. James O'Flaherty. The end of Koudelka can go down in one of three ways. One of them is if you don't find Koudelka's pendant after she loses it in the opening FMV, and you don't get a chance to even look for it until basically the end of the game, well, you die. You go into the final battle, the final boss incinerates you, and it's a really gruesome looking FMV, and that's it, you lose. Assuming you got that, there are two options. One option is defeating the final boss kind of properly. If you do everything right, well, you defeat the final boss, everybody survives, including James. The canon ending is actually the bad ending, in which James, well, basically you lose. You lose the battle. And then James, being a priest, I'm sure I've mentioned that at some point, goes into the explanation and he prays and this, that, and the other thing. Long story short, him and the final boss float up into heaven and he dies. That's the way it plays out in the canon ending, hence why we see it here. Okay, if you skip to this, then you didn't see any or hear any of that. That's fine, no big deal. It's not, well, it's kind of a big deal if you didn't want spoilers from the previous game, but anyway. Let us move on. Some impressive ruins. Evidence of the monastery's research to raise the dead. Entire place is like a graveyard. We've seen a few graveyards. This time we will not be going back to see that same graveyard, though. What is that music? Hear the cries of the dead roaming this area. What? That music is just off-putting. Something is up. Who is this? He is a strange creature. Not human. What is this music? Misunderstood things. This is most certainly a strange creature. Unneeded things. Return to the earth and that. What are you talking about? This creature's insane. 'Cause you're kind of frightening. Probably a smart idea. Somehow that doesn't make you happy. What was that? Verbal abuse. No. Spars with freedom of speech. I don't get the meaning of anything that's going on right now. This is a good question. Wait, but the creature's name is Strange Creature. Now, no matter what you press, fourth wall. Oh, this game is ridiculous. Oh, I love this game sometimes. Okay, so yeah, they basically decide, you know, we don't need that fourth wall at all. And this guy addresses the camera. What is he babbling about? Well, it's kind of not important, but other things about this creature are also kind of important. Who are you? Sure, why not at this point? This game is ridiculous. So we found that Roger Bacon wasn't Roger Bacon, was Albert Simon, and now we found Roger Bacon. What? I'm confused. I have no idea what's going on right now. A delivery? Of what? You know Kodelka. If you have played the game Kodelka. In fact, I think an image of Roger Bacon showed up in probably episode 0 when I went over, you know, little bits from Kodelka. Just happened to be one of the scenes. If you have played that game and you knew who Roger Bacon was in that game, and then you play this game and you see this tall old guy, you know, this tall guy, you know, British gentleman type, you know, you see him and all of a sudden that's Roger Bacon? That's nothing like Roger Bacon looks like in Kodelka. Well, this is the real Roger Bacon. It would be hard to forget the events of, you know, that game. You even know her last name. Time has come for what? Yeah, that strange building we were in before. That's where we're supposed to go. That's what he says. Okay then. This area is kind of weird because when you move in certain directions, the screen fades, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of odd. Door is locked tight. Okay. Now, see if I can remember where the bloody hell this one is. Oh, wow, I found it on the first shot. Cool. Talisman of Power. Excellent. Now I don't have to go looking for it. It's difficult to kind of navigate through here because you don't know where the screen transitions are, but basically follow what I did and you find the thing. There's only those 2 items up there, and if you didn't pick it up at the end of the last episode, like I did, make sure that you pick up the, was it the light gravestone? I think that's what it's called in the house here. Would be a very good idea to do that. So, you are Roger Bacon then? And you're not another fake Roger Bacon? Here's a good question for you. The Remington monastery, hence why it's the name on the world map there. A jail for political prisoners with life sentences. Role as a prison faded away, and the building was bought by a man named Patrick. Dreadful incident. Beautiful wife Elaine, and a pair of servants. Now, for those of you who listened to my explanation from a few episodes back when we were fighting the boss in the orphanage, you may recognize the names of some of the people here. Bandits broke into their home and took Elaine's life. couldn't accept death, delved into deep research of black magic. Koudelka defeated the monster and released Elaine's soul. Indeed it is. Emigre something or other. The Emigre document. In later games in the series, it is referred to as the Emigre manuscript, which I think is a much better term for it, but in this game it is the Emigre document. He used it in his research, did he? I think he bought it from someone. Man stole that book from the Vatican. His name is also Roger Bacon. No, not you. Maybe he did it. Oh. This guy seems to know what's up. What do you know of this guy? A student of yours until he turned to evil.
A young Jedi named Darth Vader, who was a pupil of mine until he turned to evil, helped the Empire hunt down and destroy the Jedi Knights.
Yes, we can definitely see the references here. $300 years! Okay, sure, why not?
Of all my disciples, he stood out as the finest. In fact, he was too good. Having come from the lowest and poorest class of society, Albert lifted himself up and applied himself diligently to study so that he could change the world. I saw great promise in him, and I taught him everything I knew. Law, philosophy, science, astronomy, alchemy. But in time, he began to question certain contradictions he saw in the world. The ruling classes and the subjected masses. He came to reject a world in which a person's place was determined by his birth, and he lost patience with me when I attempted to moderate his views. In the end, he brought me up on charges before the court of the Vatican. But it was he who the church condemned. Of course. In an age of absolutism, anyone who called for the granting of rights to individual citizens could do nothing but anger the powers that be, whether in the church or the state. Any such person was destined to be condemned as a heretic and locked away forever or tortured to death. The truth is, I knew that he was right. But I also knew that a world in which everyone could live as equals was nothing but a pipe dream. Perhaps it could be achieved in time, as knowledge spread more widely among the people. But for that age, it was an idea much too far ahead of its time.
Okay, so before we move on, just a quick little note. Roger Bacon is, in fact, based on the real Roger Bacon. And yes, there is a real one. Take a look at Wikipedia. You will find there is a lot of information on this guy. He studied all the things that he talked about in here. He was born in the 13th century, in the 1200s sometime. I think he died around the end of the 13th century, which I think it's 1200, right? I think you go back one or whatever. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, he was a philosopher and an empiricist and all those types of things that he talked about. He studied all of them. In fact, in real life, he was also brought up on charges and jailed by either the Vatican or the Pope or the Church or whatever. But yeah, it's actually rather interesting that you can see the parallels, and they drew a lot from, real life when it comes to this character. They do that with other characters as well. Alice, through the Looking Glass, that's a reference to Alice in Wonderland and sequel. There's a number of good references to both philosophy. We have Keith as a vampire being a reference, of course, to Dracula, as well as being a reference to Vincent from Final Fantasy VII. There's just lots of little references like that, and the more that you understand, kind of the better. In fact, doesn't that thing underneath because, if I remove that text, doesn't that kind of look like the Cheshire Cat? I guess he doesn't really have eyes, but other than that, if it had eyes, it might look like the Cheshire Cat, just without the teeth. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the weird coloring. I don't know. He changed after the trial. Okay. Pushed himself to the limit. Ended up becoming trapped by black arts. Total destruction of society. And even Roger himself was saying that, yeah, all the things that Albert had seen in the world, these inadequacies and these things that just weren't fair, well, they were true. It just, the way that Albert wanted to go about things, killing everybody, probably not the best way to solve them. Indeed we do. It's a JRPG plot. We gotta stop the bad guy. He is close. Don't have much time, huh? Well, we better get to working on stuff. Well, we're mostly prepared. Could go fight some more fusions, but other than that... You're gonna take me to him. And you know where he is how? The teleporter isn't complete yet, but the vending machine works fine. Do they have vending machines in 1914 or whatever? 1913, 14, whatever it is right now? I don't think so. Wait for you at the ruins when we're ready. Indeed I will. This doodad that I said kind of looked like the Cheshire Cat, well, it's a vending machine and it doesn't really look like the Cheshire Cat anymore. I don't know if I want to touch it. The hell? Continental Zero. It's an odd name for a shop, but it does contain, I believe, the third best weapons and armor in the game. I think the 6th set of weapons and armor overall. Now, I have specific ones that I actually want to purchase because an upcoming dungeon is going to give us access to a lot of different ones. Let's see. So we want weapons for Zhu Zhen and for Keith. Okay, so I just bought them off screen. There's the sword there. We don't need a weapon for Yuri or for Alice because we're going to get new ones in the upcoming dungeon. We don't... I think technically we want one for Margaret, but I'm not going to use her in the upcoming dungeons, so I'm just going to hold off on it. I might end up buying it after. The steel slingshot is actually... Can I not actually look at it? I guess I'm going to have to buy it at some point just to look at it, but it's not as good as the improved slingshot that we already have. Neither is the high alloy one, but I'll probably buy those both off screen just to look at. But I do want to get one Stygian robe for Yuri and one Snow White robe for Alice. They're going to want those. And then I'm going to purchase, where are they? Up to one more willpower so that I have 3 total, because SP lowering is kind of irritating and I would like to avoid having to deal with that. What? Okay, that's the kind of bullshit you're gonna deal with the ring if you try and go for 5. I have not successfully got 5 on any of these. In fact, I've been losing on the 3rd one a lot of the time. So, yeah, just be aware. Some of these can go, like, at warp speed, and they're kind of ridiculous. Kind of very ridiculous. Okay, another 50%. This is going to go well. Yep, about as well as I expected. I want to show a couple of these on screen because they're ridiculous. I don't know how anyone is expected to do this. The shop is probably the 2nd most annoying ring in the game once you get up to all the different 5s. Yeah, other than that, there's one other one. It's the bane of my existence, and it took me like 2 hours to do my test run. I'm not looking forward to it, but it's later, so that's fine. Okay, I've made a save state here because I actually want to get these at a discount. They also have pure roots, so I'm just buying those. I just want to see what kind of ridiculousness the ring is going to give me here. Let's see. Oh, that's so close together. I'm going to try that one again. How close together is that? Can I even do that one? There are some that are just like this. And I'm just going to fail at this like miserably over and over and over again. Even with save states, this is ridiculous trying to get some of these to work. And yeah. See, that last one's right at the end. So if you don't hit it in time, it basically goes all the way around to the beginning and it counts as a miss. Oh, I got it after saving a bunch of times, and I only save an additional 800 cash on that, so whatever, I don't really care. Normally, I would just cancel after doing the 3rd or 4th one because it's just not worth it. But anyway, we got the extra willpower, we got a piece of armor for each of them there. Where the hell is the armor there? I'll buy the other stuff off screen, whatever. But one robe and one of the armors. We get our rewards out of this, and we can head over into... You're going the wrong way again. Definitely going the wrong way again. I knew it. I'm really going the wrong way. I have no idea where I'm going. Thought this was the one that led to nowhere. Okay, that's fine. Alright, now that we have our new purchases in hand... Nope. Can I go out the door, please? Thank you. Now we can head over to the last thing I want to do for today. And that is over here. Roger's going to do something for us here. I'm not exactly sure why. He said to meet over here. So, let's do what he says. He's a strange old creature. Multiple hundreds of years old. We'll just trust him. The last secret that remains in the ruins, huh? Well, we were here earlier and it was locked. Okay. What kind of weird dance is that? Will we now? That would be interesting. Alright, we'll follow him in. This place is weird. Full of evil spirits. you're proud of her. Him? Again, they're referencing back to Kodelka. If you recall, when we were in the orphanage, the pot, or the large cauldron-like thing that was in the corner before we fought the Mammon boss, was also there, and that had something to do with, you know, resurrecting the dead that time as well. Been called Neem, hence the Remington monastery, I would guess, contains a mysterious power. Other places: Easter Island, the civilization of Atlantis, and the lost continent of Mu. Of course, they're all real in this world. Sure, why not? Earth's nerve points. Intriguing. Oh, we're going to relate this to acupuncture. Sure enough, that probably would work. Okay. It's a special place, huh? What exactly is that? Someone has opened this door. Well, we couldn't get in here. Seal the ruins. That seal just looks like a circle to me. But apparently it's supposed to be the Judgment Ring. Sure, that works too. I don't know why they do that. It doesn't look like the Judgment Ring. Not really, other than the fact that it's circular. Maybe it does. Maybe that triangle in the center is on the Judgment Ring and I just can't make the connection because it's a different color. Anyway, 3 eyes drawn here describe motive, action, and outcome. Conscious of life, possibility of life, the destiny of life. Okay. The Door of Judgment. This is the furthest you go. Yeah, we're not going back. Not yet, anyway. That's why we're here. Well, at this point, you know, we're about 2/3 of the way through the game. Yeah, we probably should see things through. Open the Door of Judgment. Are you failing to open it? Oh, never mind. You just fiddled with it, I guess. You'll wait here. The sad thing about all of this, which seems really cool, talking about, you know, the ancient continent of Mu and Atlantis, and, you know, the Judgment Ring is on this door here, and none of it bears any relation to anything besides in this room. Yeah, they kind of screwed the pooch on that one. Oh well. Anyway, talk to Roger. Let me replenish your strength. Here will be a free healing point during this section of the game. Anyway, let's check out some of the new stuff we got here. Hey, nice. Unique sheen, huh? Well, it's better than what we had before. So, yep, we'll definitely equip that. And the Snow White robe here. Defense against envoys from the demonic world. Okay, sure. That's fine. Again, it's quite a bit better. So let's equip that. And you got the Four God Staff. So let's take a quick look at that. Very few can tap into its true power, huh? Spirit of Mitama. Cool. better than what he was equipping, so we might as well give him that. This is my setup going into the upcoming area. You may want to protect yourself against instant death, ring abnormalities, and paralysis in this area, but that's not really how I've got things set up. It's entirely up to you. One thing I noted in the previous area is I was getting into a lot of back and cross attacks, a lot more than I was before, so I'm going to start equipping the warning device to protect against those showing up. The willpowers that I bought are for later. I just wanted to make sure I had enough of them. There we go. So we got 3 of them. Now, I've seen the crucifix work and not work on SP lowering. At least I believe so. So I'm not entirely sure if I needed that 3rd one. I might be able to just use the crucifix, but for some reason I can't seem to, find a consistency with it. It works in one spot and it doesn't work in another. So I'll try and do some testing and, determine for sure whether it works or not. Yuri gets the pedometer and accelerator just because he doesn't really need anything else. And you've got that on. So yeah, we're going to find a new weapon for you, and a new armor for you. So we don't need to buy those from the shop. So yeah, we're pretty much outfitted and good to go. I now have my lowest level characters, which gained a couple of levels at the end of the last episode while I was trying to show off all the different malice enemies. So now that we've done that, and we've gained a couple of levels, we got monk earrings to carry us through this area. By the end of this area, these 2 should be not only caught up, but probably my highest leveled characters. That won't normally happen just going through the area, but I've got another plan. But anyway, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.